Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here you can gain access to a continuously updated sideboard guide and primer on Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can join the Patreon by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/NebelShootMTG. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video. Since last I recorded, I have gotten a lot of new traffic on the Patreon, so thank you so much to everyone who is supporting there. Connor Anderson, Thomas Lenz, Yusuke Saito, Takahiro Harada, Darth Dog, Grace the Stromp. I'm sure I'm missing someone here. I'm just trying to look through the list. But thanks so much, guys. Really, I do appreciate it. Today I'm playing a Turbo Doomsday deck. The main deck is basically what I've been playing lately, but I wanted to try something fun and hopefully effective, which is to pivot, or at least have the possibility to pivot into Entomb Reanimate post board. This is a very compact reanimation package, 11 cards. So we've got the 8 keys here, the 4 A's and I guess 5 B's with Animate Dead. So 4 Entomb, 4 Reanimate, 1 Animate Dead, and then 2 monsters. Having only the 4 Entomb to get the 2 monsters, one of the 2 monsters into the graveyard is perhaps a little bit light. But we do also play the Undercity Sewers, and we play Consider as sort of makeshift build your own Entomb kind of thing. And this is pretty much what the Dimir Reanimator deck has going, right? It is, I think they play 2 Undercity Sewers, but other than that, it's the 4 Entombs basically. And I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out. I will be able to keep a skeleton crew of Doomsday cards alongside the Entomb package. So that's kind of interesting. And I think hopefully people, like, the hate is not too overwhelmingly overlapping, that I don't expect people to board in or keep in anti-graveyard stuff, except for Endurance, I guess, so we have to watch out for the green decks, but like, I wouldn't expect people to board in Spell Bombs or Grafdigger's Cages or Leylines versus Doomsday. And then we have the quick 1-2 punch of Entomb Reanimate. Yeah, so this is not like revolutionary or anything. Like, people have combined Doomsday and Reanimator. Last time I tried something like this, it was sort of the other way around. I had a main deck of Legacy Tinfins with then a complete Doomsday sideboard pivot. But yeah, let's give it a go. All right, hello everyone. Here we are for round number 1, and I don't know that I like this hand. I'm gonna mulligan. Yeah, this is better. I'm gonna keep, and I'm gonna bottom the Edge of Autumn. And then I'm going to float the Polluted Delta. No reason to get wastelanded here. Not yet. We can choose to fetch Undercity Sewers, and we have the Flusterstorm, which is pretty important. Ooh. Thoughtseize. This is oops all spells. Well, I mean, we're gonna Flusterstorm here, I think. They can just go off on top of this if they have like mana plus combo, but I mean, then they were gonna do that anyways. They'd just take our Flusterstorm and do it. Okay, they're passing. LED not great here. Yeah, this is a shuffle. And we draw blue card, which means if we can find Force of Will here, that's good. And we can. Okay. It's pretty clutch. I mean, we're sort of not doing anything here, but yeah, let's try this. Force of Will was what we were looking for. There's a Flusterstorm coming, and unfortunately Flusterstorm isn't really that great. Oh, damn. Duress. Okay. Well, you're all clear, kid. They take the Force. Do they just have it here? They have the Send? Yep. Alright. So we lose game 1. Let's see what their deck looks like. I'm not super duper well versed with this, but I believe that when they're not playing Pact of Negation, that usually means that there is a creature pivot coming. There is a pact. There are all Pact of Negations here. Okay. So that probably means no creature pivot, but like Goblin Charbelcher. I don't know. And they have one card in hand. Where's the Dread Return? Not that it really matters, because they have the Cabal Therapy. I'm just going to yield here and let them do the thing. They already know our hand, so we're not really keeping any secrets here. There's the Dread Return. Yeah. Alright. I will concede. Alright, we have one Hill Spellbomb. We have two Force of Negations. And then we have Entomb Reanimate. Is this worth it? Like, well, Brazen Borrower doesn't come in, but if I board in 14 cards, what the heck am I boarding out? I can board out the Personal Tutors, I guess, and can board out some number of Cyclers. Board out the Jace, don't need him. That's 8 cards. Board out the Quantum Riddler. That's 9 cards. What's even better, is it Atraxa or Archon of Cruelty versus them? Archon discards a card out of their hand immediately, and then like finishes the game pretty quickly and keeps discarding. Maybe I don't pivot here at all and just board in these 3 cards. Like, we have a lot of good, like, this deck is pretty well set up to play against Oops All Spells, as it is. And then if there's a game 3, we can consider like pivoting. So I think it's okay, like shaving like maybe 2 Cyclers, and then the Jace. I don't think we need to worry about like losing because they have Disruptor Flute or Endurance or something. Yeah, let's try this. All right, this this is pretty sweet. All right, let's keep. So what we can do here is we can double Dark Ritual, Doomsday, cycle Street Wraith into either Thoughtseize or Nihil Spellbomb. Oh, they're down to 4 cards. But then we're not winning. I think the best thing to do is actually to put Daze on top. And then not double Thoughtseize here, or double Dark Ritual, because then we can still win on the next turn. Alright, so we cycle Wraith into a Daze. Then we draw Brainstorm and then do the normal pile stuff. Yeah, we actually have to not use Consider here, so we might not be able to get to the bottom of the pile, depending on if we have to pitch the Ponder, but that's fine. Brainstorm and Daze, and pass. They Thoughtseize. I am going to cycle the Street Wraith, because if they take my Street Wraith, doesn't matter, then I can Ponder one. Yeah, then it does actually matter, so I am going to take the Daze here. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I thought for a second if I should Force of Will here, or Daze, I guess, but like Force of Will is better because a Spirit Guide gets them out of Daze, but I don't think they have the resources here to beat even a Daze. They take the Ponder, yeah. So we draw Brainstorm and cast it, and then we put back like Dark Ritual and Thassa. And if they play 0 mana creature removal here, then they got us. Alright, well, I put in Mulligan to 4, so we probably can't expect to get that lucky. So boarding in the rest of this stuff here, maybe just 1 creature, and then we board out another Cycler, the Personal Tutors. That's a lot of things we have to cut here. I guess Quantum Riddler can go. I'll cut the Lineside Diamond and the Consider. 3 more cards we have to cut. I'll cut the Cavern of Souls. I'll cut a Daze. That takes me down to 19 blue cards. Maybe that's too irresponsible, actually. I guess I'll cut 2 Lotus Petal. Hang on. I'll cut 1 Animate Dead and 1 Lotus Petal. Oh shit, there was a Street Wraith there that was supposed to go, and I just submitted. Damn. I didn't notice. Yeah, I boarded back the Street Wraith I'd boarded out for, for game number 2. Oh well. I think I keep here. It's not amazing, but we're an Entomb away from being able to combo, and we have Force of Will and a Flusterstorm. So, oops, all spells keeping 6 is pretty scary. Simian Spirit Guide. Do they just have it here? Well, I think I force here. And they have to have both a mana to activate this and Pact of Negation. And they didn't have it. Okay. And here's a funny thing. I can reanimate this. I think I'm supposed to do that. Alright. The next turn, I can use this on them. And then I win because I have Flusterstorm for their Memory's Journey if they play that. But they would have to have a Spirit Guide to even like activate or like cast that. Is there any point in waiting? I mean, I'll get my attack in here. I could do it on their upkeep. I guess I'll do it on their upkeep. No, actually, if for some reason like Pact of Negation plays a factor here, it's better for them to have to do it. Alright, here we go. It's better for them to have to do it on my turn, I mean. I'm going to sacrifice... Oh, hang on. How does this work? Sacrifice Undersea Sewer to its own ability. Yes, okay. I've never played this card. Okay, here are 4 Narc Amoeba triggers. Let me see. Do they have the Memory's Journey? Is there even a game to keep playing here? There's the Memory's Journey. Where's the Jack-o'-lantern? That's the one they need to be able to make the blue mana right now. I don't see it. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. I mean, they have not clicked concede yet. Why have they not conceded? Okay. Anyways. Pass the turn. Okay. So they exile the Spirit Guide. Okay, yeah, that's how that works. And now, if their last 2 cards are Pacts of Negation, they can pay for the Flusterstorm. Alright, sweet, they concede. That was fun. Stoked I got to record while doing that. I've never got noops the way that, like this. Alright, sweet, off to round number 2. Alright, on the draw for round number 2, let's keep this hand. It's pretty good. Oh, the polluted Delta Mirror. Uh-oh. This is not one of the pleasant matchups here. Alright, well, I'm going to fetch Basic Island here and see if we can find a way to win. We need to find a Doomsday. I think I shuffle these. Like, the Ponder is good, but I really don't want to draw either of these other 2 cards. And pass. So ideally we find... Oh, there's a Wasteland. Ideally we find, like, I don't know, a Thoughtseize or something as well, or a Flusterstorm, but we are somewhat okay here. Interesting they play out the Wasteland before casting the Ponder. That means they can't, like, find another good 1-drop or something to play here. That Wasteland is going to be able to eat next turn here, because I will likely have to play this Underground Sea. I think I play out my Petal. I don't want this Brainstorm Dazed, and I don't want to commit an Underground Sea in case I find land. Okay. Alright, this looks good. So Force plus Daze gets me here. Force plus Daze gets me here. Oh, I don't know. I can wait 1 turn, and then Force plus Daze doesn't get me. I think I'm supposed to do that. And that means I just pass. We have to hope that obviously we have to hope they can't double Force. But also I would really love for them to, like, tap out for something here. Kind of worried about all this open mana. Not sure if they could be running like a Spell Pierce or something. They're just passing. Force of Negation. Let's try this Dark Ritual. I guess also, like, I need to play out this LED for to have enough storm counters for Flusterstorm to even work here. Alright. Let's cast Doomsday. If they just let this resolve, I am not going for the same turn win. And they do. Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, so I want Cavern. I want Thassa. I already have 2 cyclers here. I'll be at 8. They currently have 2 card types in their graveyard. I really don't want to lose too much life here, is also the thing. So let's see what happens if we cycle. They're going to wasteland us. We cycle Edge of Autumn, draw Consider, cast Consider, drawing the second, or milling over the second Edge of Autumn. Or maybe that's a Street Wraith, yeah. Okay, so, okay. I think this works. Let's see. Thos on the bottom, Cavern, Edge, Street Wraith, and Consider. Like, if they have a lot of bolts here, we're potentially in a lot of trouble to that. If they even bolt me once here, I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith and cast Consider. Or cycle the Edge of Autumn and cast Consider. Okay. Let them surveil. I think I probably need to counter this Lightning Bolt. They've milled over the Force of Negation. Okay. Alright, I'm going to sack a land and cast Consider. If they want to daze that, that's like pretty annoying. If this resolves, I feel really good. Petty Theft on what? On the LED? Yeah, that's probably fine. Let them surveil here. Okay, LED has been thefted in the most petty way. Okay, I'm going to put Street Wraith in the graveyard. That draws Edge of Autumn. Then I'm going to point 7 copies of Flusterstorm on this Lightning Bolt. And that means, obviously, if they have something like Consign to Memory or Stifle in the main deck, we lose to that. And we could have saved our Flusterstorm, but I think it's more likely that if I go to 5 here, and if they have another Bolt and then get Delirium, then I'm just dead. So I'm pretty okay with how this played out. There is the second Bolt. If they have all 3 Lightning Bolts, then I'm just out of luck. And it's Brainstorm, so they get the looks here. So they need a land and a Bolt, and then I'm dead. And if not, then I'm probably gonna win. So they know right now if they've won or lost. Or rather, if they've won. They don't know that they're about to lose if they pass the turn. 2. Well, they pass. They didn't find it. Alright, cool. So let's play the Cavern and name Merfolk. And we float a blue Merfolk mana. And cycle the Edge of Autumn. And they concede. Alright, cool. Very close game 1. And now the question is, do we pivot? I mean, that's kind of what we came to do, I think. So here is, oops. Here are an 11 card sideboard pivot. And let's board out all of the Doomsday cards. I mean, I thought, like, and I think I mentioned it during the deck tech, that I might be able to, or even supposed to keep in some number of Doomsday cards here. So I think maybe I do. If I keep in 4 copies of Doomsday. Maybe I'll go down to 3 copies of Doomsday. And I don't know, Jace, is Jace really good enough? Probably not. Then I'll have 2 cyclers. Kind of want to cut the Quantum Riddler, but then I'm down to 19 blue cards with Atraxa. Maybe that's fine. Then I'll have the 4th Doomsday. Yeah, let's try this. Is this good enough? We have Force plus Daze plus Entomb. I think I'm going to keep this. The opponent mulligans to 6. We can Force pitch the Atraxa, and then, like, Daze. Or we're sort of screwed on lands here. Like, a single Wasteland is probably going to be good enough to, like, really cause us problems, unless I draw a way to get to basic Swamp, in which case I'm happy as a clam. They bobble us. See what they see, or what they saw. Ponder, okay, that's good. So I will fetch Basic Island, cast Ponder here, looking for a pathway to Basic Swamp and a Reanimate. Oof, none of this, please. Another Ponder, I suppose I'll have to take it. They like what they found on top. Wasteland, and now they are delirious, so I'm going to be running out of time to actually cast the spell Reanimate pretty quickly. Another Entomb. That is just super awkward. Dark Ritual. Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle these. And now it's a big, big, big problem here. Which is, I think I'm actually gonna have to or I'm gonna move to discard, and I'm gonna discard the Edge of Autumn because I really have a very strong feeling I'm gonna lose this game, and I really, really, really don't want for them to see anything giving away that I have a graveyard combo here, because that is then going to be my advantage for game number 3. And we are still pretty far away here. They choose not to. Oh, they go top bottom. Yeah, they probably have more than one counter spell. I will daze anything here if they try to counter my ponder just to replay the land and cast a second ponder. Yep. They pay for my daze. I replay this land and cast ponder. Oi, oi, oi. All right, I am actually just going to concede here and move to game number 3. Not sure how much I like that. Yeah, let's try this. Just resubmit. Oh my god, this is very results biased here, but this is why I hate like A plus B combo decks sometimes. Then game 2 got all A's. Game 3 here I get all B's. This is just an Entomb away from, but I can't just rely on that. I'm not casting cantrips. All right, this has everything. Keep and bottom brainstorm, I think. So we just need to hit land / avoid wasteland here if possible. Days can go to the graveyard here. Okay, no wasteland game 1 or turn 1. That's something, I guess. Land, by far my best draw here. Or pedal. I am just going to pass here. I would love for them to like tap out next turn, and then on my end step I will entomb. End of turn brainstorm. Oh wow. They're moving to discard. Well, let's cast Entomb. Hope they aren't playing Flusterstorm here. That would be savage. Force of Will. Okay. They're going to Force of Will. I'm going to Force of Will. Maybe they Pyroblast here and then I daze. They have second force. That is what it is. Pyroblast, there we go. Picking up my land. Now this really might hurt me if this Surveil land like had been an Underground Sea. That way I wouldn't lose to a daze next turn on my Reanimate. They have second force. Wow, okay. Okay. Well, let's see if we just randomly find a creature on top here. That would be funny. Doomsday. Alright, I'll put that on top. And see where we are next turn. What was pitched? Daze and Brazen Borrower. Okay. A lot of things can go wrong here. Wasteland is a pretty big problem. A daze is a pretty big problem. But I am going to try it. If they daze us here, it's going to suck so bad. Because it's a 2-for-1. But I am still holding in like Reanimate here. If I just find an Entomb again, like ever, then it's pretty good. They had the daze. Sucks. Sucks to be me. Alright. They like what they saw. Preordain. Okay. Top, bottom. Okay. How about an Entomb for me deck? How about an Entomb? Or a second Reanimate? Oh, all those cantrips. They're just so far ahead of me right now. They shuffle. Okay. No Wasteland. Wasteland's probably what I'm most concerned with right now. That's nice and everything. As long as they don't have a threat as well. But so let's see. They've forced twice. There are 2 dazes accounted for, but daze is no longer really a thing here. Doomsday. That might be good one day. As soon as they find a threat, I'm in deep trouble. Brainstorm. Okay. They likely have a Pyroblast at this point. They were sitting on reactive things over there, not creatures, and they've been playing out their lands. So I'm pretty sure they have like 4 spells here. Here comes a fetch. So Force of Negation probably. Yep. All right. That's a Force of Negation gone on a Brainstorm, I suppose, isolated. That is not the worst, but Core Steel Cutter, okay. They might have been saving a spell here. No, they haven't. So the rest is still also just like reactive stuff or lands. Let's try this Doomsday. They probably have a counterspell, right? Okay. Maybe they had like their last 2 dazes as well. Yeah. Draw all 4 dazes. Come on, guy. Okay. Oh, I'm paying for one. I guess I didn't need to, but it also doesn't matter because I'm just passing here. Oof, a cantrip here is brutal for me. So, ugh. I think I have one window, which is to right now draw Entomb. They're going to beat me down, at least beat me down to with like to 13, and I'm going to take 8 from Archon if I were to find Entomb. Come on, Entomb, one time, big draws. Yes! Wow! Holy smokes. Okay. Um, I mean, they might just still have the force, who knows. But if they don't, then I get, and I think it has to be Archon, right? I'll So with Archon, I will drop to 5 and then back up to 8. They'll lose a creature, and if they attack, no, I think it has to be. All right, Archon's in. I draw a card. They lose a card, and I draw Ponder. Okay, I think I cast Ponder. There's a Reanimate. I have a Reanimate. No, I have to shuffle these. Another Entomb. Well, let's see here. If they have a Lightning Bolt, then it is not good for me. They have Unholy Heat. Holy smokes. Ugh. Why is this in your deck, opponent? Alright, I've lost. Yeah. And I have now actually, I'm at 1. So, no, this is second spell, they'll get another monk. Yeah, alright. GG's opponent. Tough beats, off to round number 3. Alright, round 3 on the draw here. I will reluctantly keep this hand. It's not amazing, but 2 Street Wraiths are kind of unknowns here. Oh, and we're up against Cloudpost deck. Sweet. Well, not so sweet, maybe. Like, I've been playing a lot against this blue type of Cloudpost deck lately. So Cloudpost deck with blue is suddenly a lot more scary. I guess I will leave the basic island, will I, though? Yeah, let's leave that on top. Urza's Tower, okay. I think I will cast Ponder here. Yikes. Shuffle these. Land is fine. I'll cast Personal Tutor. Alright, let's get Doomsday and pass. A Karn here puts a spanner in my works. Yeah, it is the blue deck. Let me cast this Consider. A Daze. So they have 3 mana right now. I think I put Daze in the graveyard. I'll cast. Actually, tell you what, I'm going to cycle this Street Wraith, one of these, and then I'll cast Brainstorm. Or will I? There was just a little bitty force of will there. I think in that case, I am going to just cast Doomsday. If they have double force here, I'll be sad. There's Force of Will pitching Tishana's Tidebinder. I have Force of Will. This is a card we have to learn to play against, by the way. When this enters, counter up to 1 target activated or triggered ability of an artifact or creature or planeswalker. And if it's countered this way, that permanent loses all abilities for as long as this creature remains on the battlefield. Okay. That costs 3. They have 3 mana. So what happens if I were to go, say, cycle Street Wraith into Lineside Diamond, cycle Street Wraith into Quantum Riddler, cast Quantum Riddler, draw 2 cards, then I can't get to the bottom. Yeah, because I can't draw another card, then I could also just try and take it easy here and go like Force of Will as the top 2 cards. Yeah, Force of Will. And then we can go draw Quantum Riddler on our turn. But that's not good either, because I will need a 3rd land. If I have cycled this Edge of Autumn, I will only have 2 lands. So maybe screw the Quantum Riddler and just go all cyclers all the time. All right, let's see. So if nothing happens, I'll draw Force of Will, then I'll cycle 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and I will end up with Force of Will and Thassa's Oracle. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, just to repeat here, the reason I'm not just going for the win right now is because I can't do it protected. And if they have this, another one of these in their hand, they just pitched one, then I will just lose. And now we have the ability to force a will on the opponent's turn in case they have something that we need to worry about. And if not, then the force of wills are going to be like on defense for the Tishana. All right, they suddenly have 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I will let them have the One Ring. They draw a card. They have 4 cards in hand, 1 mana. If they have like Force plus a Flusterstorm or something, then it's not so good for us. Unless that's the case, we just get to cycle our merry way through the deck here and put Thassa into play with Force of Will backup. Alright, cool. We take game 1. Kind of pleased. This is not a pleasant deck to play around. I think they also play like Chalice of the Void. Let's try the Reanimator thingy. And I think I'm going to board completely out of Doomsday and bring in like the extra Force of Negations and stuff. And then I'll actually keep in 2 Personal Tutors. Personal Tutor can get Reanimate, which is not completely irrelevant, but obviously it's not really on rate, but let's try that. I guess I'll keep this. Oh, the old Cloud Post. I think I'll cast Ponder. I'll shuffle these. So we are kind of missing both like A and B of our combo. And I think I will cast Brainstorm here. Let's get rid of Undercity Sewers and Basic Swamp. And I'll actually pass here. I want to keep up like Force of Will, pitch a Ponder, and then Flusterstorm their Force of Will on my Force of Will. But that's not happening. They're just passing here. Their Kozilek's command deck as well is something we have to be cognizant about if we put a creature in the graveyard and reanimate. Another Brainstorm. I think this can go into the graveyard. We really need to start hitting our combo pieces. Holy guacamole. Okay, I'm going to cast Brainstorm here. Try to move some cards around. There's Animate Dead. Let's get rid of a land and a Force of Will. And then I will cast a Ponder here. Now we just need to find Entomb. And there it is. Alright, cool. Wish I had the Lotus Petal as well here, but I don't. Alright, let's pass. We just have to dodge like something crazy right now. With our grip full of counterspells. The One Ring. Yeah, I think we Force of Will this. Pitching Ponder. Because if they force back, I want to Fluster. And then also have a Fluster for my Entomb Animate, like in case they have Force of Negation in hand. They do force, okay. Then I will force. So if they have another Force of Will, they get the One Ring here. Looks like they don't. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna draw Petal. I'm not gonna Entomb in my upkeep because Petal adds a storm counter to the Flusterstorm, which is my way of ensuring this happens. Play the land. Cast Entomb. And I think I'm supposed to get Archon of Cruelty here, because this might be a deck that could play some like a land package, like and have Karakas, and also like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the most experienced Reanimator player. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I am supposed to get a Traxa, but I am gonna get the Archon. We can Flusterstorm the Kozilek's command here, but there is no Kozilek's command. All right, cool. Oh, maybe there is. Tishana. Damn. Okay. Yep. This cannot be Flusterstormed. Animate Dead is countered. Stock up. I have to let this, like I can't fluster it. They can just pay for it. Gross. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose this annoying Merfolk Wizard. Ugh, if only this had been Reanimate. The One Ring. Yep. That Chalice for 1. Brutal. Now I can't even rip a Reanimate. And I'm gonna concede to the a million mana and active the One Ring over there, plus Chalice. I think I'm gonna keep this Constellation in, also just because that is kind of what I wanted to do in this league and test it out. So let's try that. I wasn't even paying attention. I don't even know what expansion that Tishana Merfolk thing is from. It just suddenly started seeing play. It is like pretty relevant versus Doomsday. I'll keep this. We're not super happy, but we can force a Chalice, I guess. We need to. Or Daze. I'm gonna get the Surveil. And then I'm gonna Daze the Chalice. Because I want to know if Chalice is gonna be in play before I choose my Surveil. Chalice is countered. Petal can go to the graveyard. Another Dark Ritual. Lovely. Surveil away land. Yeah, this hand is just complete bullshit now. And now they have the Tishana. There's an enemy dead. Again, I am sitting here with multiple A's and no B's. Or, you know, the other way around, I guess. Glimmer Post. Karn. Okay. The One Ring is here. And my third reanimation spell. I'm just going to concede. Yeah, not bothered with this. 1 and 2. Let's go for round number 4. Okay, on the play for round number 4. Yeah, let's keep this. We can go turn 1 Personal Tutor, turn 2 Doomsday, and we have a daze to sort of, you know, tie the room together. Fetch basic island. We could also actually fetch Underground Sea here, just from the perspective that might incentivize a wasteland play on the opponent's side, and then our daze is better than if they just like go land go with no action. And then if the opponent doesn't wasteland us but like Thought seizes our Dark Ritual, then it's probably preferable to have Underground Sea in play. Okay, that resolves. Let's get the Doomsday and pass. Misty Rainforest go is the play from the opponent. Okay. I think we cast Ponder then. I don't want to just lose to Force of Will. There is Force of Will for us. I'm going to take it and pass here again. Like, right now I have Force plus lose to Daze, or I can wait one turn, draw the blue card for Force, then have Force plus Daze, and not lose to a Daze from the opponent. So that just seems swell. Let's see what flavor of blue we're up against. Hedge Maze, so I guess like Bug Beanstalk or Nadu is my, probably Nadu, some kind of Nadu variant. Oh, Show and Tell, so it's Omnitel. Interesting. This is a deck that could play Flusterstorm. It could also play Veil of Summer, so if they have like Force plus Veil of Summer, that's unfortunate for us. I think I will just leave my fetch lands in play. So if they Force here, which I expect them to do, we have to plan for a world after, like, where Doomsday gets countered by a Veil, like Force, I Force back, they Veil. And is it then preferable to have Flusterstorm? Is it then preferable to have a Daze or a Personal Tutor? Oh, this is so hard. Alright, so Flusterstorm triggers here. There are going to be 3 copies of Flusterstorm targeting my Doomsday. So I could pay for 2 of them and then Force of Will the 3rd. And then if I pitch Personal Tutor and then they have Veil of Summer, then I can Daze that. If they have another Fluster, I lose. And if I somehow end up with nothing, then maybe it would be better to just try and Force pitch Daze and then keep the Personal Tutor in case they are able to counter it. But yeah, this is tough. Interesting. Let me know maybe in the comments what you would do, but I am actually going to Force pitch the Daze. Or rather, sorry, pitch the Personal Tutor. I think like if when the dust settles, like maybe they like go land Show and Tell next turn. They obviously have a Show and Tell, so maybe having the Daze is better. Okay, so we pay for these 2 copies, and then we Force of Will pitch Personal Tutor here. Okay, so they are fetching for something. Is it Tropical Island? It is. Is there a Veil of Summer coming? There is. Okay, so let's Daze, and then I'll F6. Okay, that all happened? Or what? Sick. Okay, so let's put... I am worried that there's a show and tell coming this turn. And, you know, nothing might matter. Let's do the whole cycle business here. So right now we're able to, if we get a turn, to just cycle into Thassa, put her into play. But not through the cavern. There is no way to get to the cavern without including Quantum Riddler, I don't think. Or at least including a spell that needs to be put on the stack at any rate. So, alright, opponent finished looking through my exile zone, and it is now their turn. Here is probably show and tell. Yeah. Gonna put in my Underground Sea. You can't stop me. There's Omniscience. Cunning Wish. Oh no. Firemind's Foresight. Okay. I will concede to that. Love that win condition. Alright. Again, I am going to go for the reanimation strategy. This has always been quite good versus show and tell to be like Dimir Reanimator. But obviously, I think I might have like misbuilt this a little bit, or like the plan might just be flawed on a sort of foundational level, in the sense that this is not like classical Dimir Reanimator, right? This is not where we have like 6 monsters plus like 4 Careful Study on top of the Entombs. And it might just be a little bit too unreliable to have this as our only plan. And like Dimir Reanimator currently has this, but then also has like just good creatures they can cast. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe this was a little bit of a mistake to have the sideboard pivot, but we'll see. We will draw our conclusions at the end. Oh. Yeah, this is no good. Let's mulligan. And we'll keep this and bottom the Cavern of Souls. I also think Dark Ritual has proven to be really, really weak in this reanimation shell. It's basically only for the turn ones where you have Entomb and Reanimate in hand, I think, where it's been good. So is it even worth it? Yeah, I guess. To keep that Dark Ritual in the Cavern of Souls is not a lot better. I think I'll lead on Underground Sea here and cast Consider, and then we'll save the fetch land for when we cast Brainstorm next turn. Another land, no thank you. Get another land anyways. And let's cast Brainstorm. Okay, we can get rid of one Reanimate and the Dark Ritual, I think. And then I'll cast Ponder. Quantum Riddler, eh? Well, we can like Dark Ritual out the Quantum Riddler next turn. Yeah, I think that might be good enough, actually. So like we'll fetch, we'll draw the Dark Ritual, fetch, cast Quantum Riddler. And if they counter it, we could counter back, or we could just reanimate it on the next turn. I like what they found. Carpet of Flowers. That is scary. But can I really afford to counter this into like a Flusterstorm or something? I don't think so. They choose not to trigger it. Okay. Unfortunately, Misty Rainforest doesn't get basic Swamp, or I would have gotten that. I'd give them that much mana. Long pause on this Dark Ritual. I think this... Okay, so that's just in... Alright, cool. We'll pass. I was going to say, like, I think they have... This is only Force of Willable. I don't think any other counterspell they play counters Quantum Riddler. Because the counterspell seeing play in Legacy are, like, Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Flusterstorm. And Daze, primarily. Okay, they surveil to the top. That's scary. Show and Tell... I guess I have to force this. And I cannot believe they wouldn't have any way to protect it, so I guess the game is about to end. Yep. Omniscience. And Cunning Wish. Okay, GG's opponent. Off to the final round. Alrighty, we are on the draw here with a Dark Ritual Doomsday hand. I'm going to keep. Hope to draw a blue card to pair with my Force of Will. Opponent mulligan to 6. Oh, come on. Don't Thoughtseize. Oh, no, Thoughtseize. Yep. No points for guessing which card had to go there. Oh, you don't say. Alright, well, I mean, I am going to cast Personal Tutor and get Doomsday. Unless they daze me, of course. They don't daze. Okay, cool. And if they Thoughtseize my Dark Ritual, that's why I played out the Underground Sea, because then I'm closer to casting, just hard casting Doomsday, than if I'd led on Basic Island and they Thoughtseize me again. And they played their land before casting the Ponder, so they can't find Wasteland here. Might be because they're not a Wasteland deck. The Bloodstained Mire are also a little bit suspicious, so maybe this is a Doomsday Mirror. Well, there is Thoughtseize. They take my Dark Ritual. If they have a third discard spell, that's going to suck, though. The almighty big one, but nothing can be done. And now, like, if we get another turn, we can Surveil and try and find a blue card for Force of Will and put Doomsday on the stack. Not liking all these cantrips from the opponent. Oh, there is a Wasteland. Wow, okay. Alright, I think I will fetch under City Sewers. I mean, both my basics are in my hand here, so it's not like I can do anything like fetch those. I'll take blue card for Force, or yeah, blue card for Force. And then I just have to hope to like spike another land or a Dark Ritual or a Petal. Tomb. Okay, I'm gonna let that happen. These decks don't always have like an actual payoff here, and if they do, then it's sort of I probably should have countered the Entomb, but what's this? 2 mana. Animate dead. Alright, Force of Will. Let's hope they don't have a reanimate as well. Okay, they didn't. Come on, black mana one time. Street Wraith. Cycle into black mana one time. I guess I consider here. No thank you, Personal Tutor. Okay, Brainstorm was not too bad. Okay, so they didn't follow up the Animate Dead with a Reanimate, which makes me feel positive they didn't have one up until this draw step at least. This is Murktide. And Murktide can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, can be full 8, 8, I think, yep. So now I can't cast Doomsday. Alright, we have to hope to find a black mana now, and that opponent can't interact with us. Come on, land. Okay, we found the land. They have 2 cards, though. If either of them is a Daze, we're in trouble. If it's Force plus Daze, we're in trouble. If it's Orcish Bowmasters, we're in trouble. Oh, get out of here. Alright, I don't think I'm going to be boarding out of Doomsday here, but I do think I want all of my animation spells to be able to kill something from, or like nab something from their graveyard. Oops, not the Archon. And I guess I will shave some cyclers. I think we can shave Quantum Riddler here as well. And 1 Personal Tutor. Yeah, let's try it like that. I think I'm supposed to keep this, but it's not amazing. And I think I will just go land go here. There's a nice little, situation that could occur where they, I don't know, like surveil a creature into the graveyard or cast Entomb on their main phase or something. Not that I think that makes a lot of sense. Tameo, sure. But where I then, on my turn, cast Personal Tutor for Reanimate, cycle Edge of Autumn to draw it, and then, yeah, that would be kind of interesting. Get Undercity Sewers here. Flusterstorm, don't think we want that. There is Dark Ritual, so I think we go for the Personal Tutor. I think I should have fetched before. I could cycle the Edge now, but then we lose to Force plus Daze. I think I'm more happy to just wait. Of course, you have the Wasteland. Do you also have Thoughtseize to take my Dark Ritual? Interesting that they wasted my Bloodstained Mire. I guess it's sort of the same thing here, but... Alright, I'm gonna get basic Island. I'm gonna cast Dark Ritual and Doomsday. I expect them to be able to say something about it. Force Pitch Brainstorm, Force Pitch Consider, and Doomsday's in. Okay. So let's see. We are a little bit handicapped here. Okay, so they pretty clearly do not have another Force of Will or Force of Negation. That makes me kind of interested in Jace, the Wheeler of Mysteries, because that ignores Consign to Memory, which is another card they could have. Problem with Jace is we need Lines at Diamond, which does get consigned, but then, like, are they going to consign the Lines at Diamond? They aren't putting us under any pressure here. So let's see. So we draw LED, cycle Edge into Jace, I guess. Or maybe we cycle Edge into Street Wraith. Jace does care about days if we lose one of our lands. But I still think it's correct to put Street Wraith above the Jace, because if they Thoughtseize us next turn and take Edge, then if we don't have the Street Wraith, we can't put Jace on the stack. Yeah, let's put Thassa and Cavern of Souls on the bottom, and then Jace with Street Wraith on top, and Lines at Diamond. And we pass. I think my worst, like, the worst thing I can really come up with that they would do would probably be to have both a Wasteland and a Daze. That's my biggest fear. That's not a Wasteland, though. Thoughtseize would be annoying, but not insurmountable. It's like, if nothing else, then right now this is really, really a massively important thing that they have a Tameo and not, like, I don't know, something that actually deals me damage, like a Nethergoyf or like Dragontrace Chandler. Okay, so they are just passing. Let's cast the Lines item and see if they want to consign that. They did not. So I'm gonna sack the Undercity Sewers to have the basic island in case they then go Runner Wasteland. Oh, I suppose I should wait. I'm drawing the Street Wraith here. Is this Orcish Bowmasters? If so, then that's fine. I'll go to 7, then this to 6, then to 3. Yeah, that's fine. Now if they also have a force, obviously. I am a sad panda. Let me just yield to this. Alright, cycle this, maintain priority. Sack for blue. Did you find another force on that one turn? You did not. Alright, I win. Okay, cool. Do I want to not be Doomsday and then instead be Reanimator? But just weaker Reanimator? I think I'm going to do it, and I will probably... The same thing that has happened, and like pretty much every round here is probably going to happen, which is I'm going to look a fool here. I'll bring in the Spell Bomb, I guess. Let's get rid of the Personal Tutors and the Doomsdays. Maybe like Brazen Borrower is something we want, and maybe like even Force of Negation might be something we would want, because we have other stuff to cut here. Let's cut Lines at Diamond. Let's cut Jace and Thassa. So we have 22 blue cards. That's pretty respectable. I don't know about this. Oh, I am going to keep this. We can pitch the Atraxa to force. I guess I am mostly concerned about them Thoughtseizing me here. That's not a Thoughtseize. You don't shuffle? Okay. How about a Reanimate? I don't even know what to say. This is pretty ridiculous. So I mean, I could move to discard, and then they just have the run of the the run of the town with with like if they have Reanimate. I think I have to not do that, and then I suppose we will see if I can find a Brainstorm at some point to help myself out here. Let's play the Petal to not have this Thoughtseize Dazed. Entomb, Brainstorm, Brazen Borrower, Force of Will. Brazen Borrower is potentially a problem here, but I think I want them. So if I take Brainstorm, right, and then if they actually have a Reanimate, they go Entomb, Reanimate, they force back, so maybe I have to take the Force of Will. And now I am actually okay with them entombing because I'm not getting anything into my graveyard myself. Orcish Bowmasters. I think I forced that. I need to be drawing cantrips here. And Brainstorm is like pretty important. Okay. So this is 5 mana. I need 3 more to actually cast this. I don't have high hopes, you guys. My opponent's sitting pretty there with like Brainstorm and Entomb and whatnot. Here is probably the Brainstorm. Yeah. So what's my avenue? Like, this is so bad. I need to draw a Brainstorm. Yeah, okay. Have a look. What do you even take here? You probably take the Dark Ritual. Or you take the Entomb thinking that I have another creature, but if you look in the Exile Zone, yeah, you take the Dark Ritual, don't you? Scoundrel. I suppose the Force of Negation could have been a worse card to draw. They Entomb, we don't care. They get Atraxa. Now I need to rip Reanimate in a big way. I also really need them to not have a Daze right now. Okay, they didn't have Daze. They had a Wasteland though. Can I draw Reanimate? Even Reanimate, they can bounce this with their Brazen Borrower. Okay. Pass. Is this where I actually entomb to thin? I don't think so. Like having the extra card in hand if I draw a Brainstorm. Think I pass. Yeah, GG's. Opponent found their second Reanimate before I found my first. Okay. This was decisive. All right, let's do a debrief here. This was a proper pounding. I took a 1-4. The Reanimator plan felt bad in every single instance where I brought it in. Like I touched upon in, I think, round 4 or round 5. I think this is just like a little bit of a misstep on my part. Like this concept probably just doesn't hold up. Like the way that Dimir Reanimator gets away with running this like tight of a reanimation package, it's because the rest of their deck functions and has like Orcish Bowmasters and Tamios and whatnot. And whenever I tried to board all this in, I ended up in this awkward spot where I had to board out enough crucial pieces from Doomsday to not really have that much of a Doomsday plan that was like reliably anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, it's unplayable, but it probably needs to not look exactly like this if this is what we want to do. Maybe we need like, I don't know, a couple of reanimation spells in the main deck and then add some more stuff here and be more dedicated to being a Reanimator deck, like a more old school combo Reanimator deck rather than a tempo Reanimator deck. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I hope this was at least enjoyable to watch. There were some fun moments, good matches here and there, but unfortunately, I really struggled here. So thanks so much for watching. As always, you guys, you're the best. I appreciate it. Have a good one. I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.